Welcome to today's video. We have teleported here to Ebisu Circuit. Today I want to focus on the Z and see how driftable it is in its completely stock form so that we have a control to move to when we start doing a whole bunch of drift mods. But we've been shredding at Minami course here. It's wet, so double XP. You guys know I love drifting in the wet. It just always equals double XP, like I say. But we had a little too much fun and I wanted to know where the wall was, and we found the wall. I'm gonna put in some clips here. Shout out to all you guys who were watching the Twitch stream when that happened. But I'm pretty ecstatic. We did a really good wall tap. We were able to still hold angle and keep the drift going, which was awesome. But let me show you guys the damage up close. Honestly, all things considered, this is probably best case scenario when you hit the wall at Ebisu. It just kind of crumples and your car keeps going. We clipped the exhaust, not too bad, which is good. We didn't kink any of it. But obviously this all needs to be pulled back out. It's fine, this stuff all pulls out very easy on the chases, so I'm not too worried about it, and Steve's just got more work to do. So, sorry Steve, but not sorry. I'm a bit upset about my Zenki tails destroyed. I really like the Zenki lights. Obviously though, we destroyed my rear bumper, like absolutely chopped it in two. So we're gonna get a new one of those in no time. But good way to start off this weekend, because tomorrow is Gaijin Matsuri. A whole bunch of Gaijins and foreigners and expats and stuff are coming. So it's gonna be fun, but I'm gonna throw the clip in one more time of the wall tap because that was sick. So it is currently the next day. The weather today is a lot better. And the whole purpose of this video, like I said, is I want to focus on the Z. We've got it in full stock form right now, which is kind of a rare opportunity. It's completely unmolested, no mods, and I want to see how it drifts, if it drifts, and what's required to make it drift. Now, the first thing I do know is we're going to pull this fuse. This fuse here, this big guy, this looks after all ABS and the VDC module and all that stuff, because these, even though they have traction control and you push the button to turn it off, it's not turned off. It's only about 60–70% traction control off. It will still pull all your throttle out. So you've got electronic throttle bodies and all that stuff on there, so a whole bunch of new car problem stuff. That's why, like, if ever you see like a video of a Z coming around a corner full pelt trying to drift, but then the car kind of bogs down and goes, duh, and then they smash into the curb, that's because they had traction control turned off on the dash, but don't know it's truly off. It still pulls out throttle. So we're gonna try with that. That should be everything we need to do. And we're gonna take this thing out on Kudu Kudu land. We'll put you guys on a GoPro and see how this thing handles. I'm not expecting much stock angle and stuff like that, but we still should be able to have some fun. Completely stock, like stock clutch, everything stock. Stock, stock, stock. Okay, so since pulling that fuse, the car doesn't start. Damn it, I hate new cars. Yeah. So, we do have a problem. They purposely combined the ABS fuse with the ignition switch. So, that sucks. So I have to have this in to be able to start the car. So maybe once the car's running, I can unplug it? I don't know, but new car stuff sucks. I've got another trick that I'm gonna try first. But God, I hate new car stuff. It's like, why can't they just make a switch that turns everything off properly? I don't know if this is gonna work, but I've just unplugged the brake pedal because that seems to disable the traction control. I was able to do burnouts and stuff when Content Master 64 was visiting by disconnecting the brake pedal, and that seemed to trick it to let me disable all traction control. So hopefully it works. We will know in a little bit. If it doesn't work, then I'll have to jerry rig something up with the fuse or pull my center console apart, because there's a VDC module under the dash here in the center console that you can unplug that will do the same thing. I'm gonna do a video on the best way to actually turn off traction control properly and build yourself a little board and stuff that you can just have a switch here and it'll be proper, and I want to show you guys how to do that. I've been doing a bunch of research on it, but yeah, Z's and new cars, just new cars in general, you've got to obviously fight them a fair bit to get them to do what you want to do. So we're just waiting for this guy to jump off. Oh, there we go. Aircon is now off. We're gonna do some driving, see how the Z goes. We've got a stock, diff, everything. Let's just use first gear for now. I don't know if the e-brake's gonna work though. Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's definitely really weird. The diff does not like me. This is a handful, guys. Oh my gosh, it drifts though. Oh yeah, the traction control is definitely doing some weird things. It's driftable though. It's not nice. Definitely not the nicest experience. Let's see if it'll do some donut. That's a clutch, that's a clutch, that's the clutch. Oh boy. Yeah, it's taking throttle out, like it's controlling it around like 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. It's not truly deactivated. I can make it do what I need to, but it's not great. It's definitely not great. I do not, like, it's not a good experience. We need to disable it properly. It's like holding my engine at 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. It should be going a lot crazier. So we're gonna play around, do some stuff, try and get traction control properly disabled, and we'll do it one more time. I think what most people do is they cut the two things in there in the fuse. Alright, so what I'm doing now is removing some screws from the center console so that I can pull it up and unplug the VDC module, which is what controls all the traction control stuff. We definitely were burning a lot of clutch then because I was clutch kicking the thing so much because traction control was just trying to hold this thing at 3,500 RPM and 3,000. It was really bad. You could really tell it was trying to mess with me. So I'm gonna get that unplugged. We're gonna see what difference that makes. I'm expecting a pretty big one. And it should be, oh wow, this comes up, dude, what? It's that easy? Dude, I have to admit, Z's like, they go together so well. I mean, that explains why they're probably so cheap. Like they're always a cheap deal from the factory. Like the new Z, the 400Z or the 2023Z, whatever you want to call it. $40,000 for a twin turbo thing. They're just good bang for buck, like, car. I think I might have to undo a few screws here. Yep, 2 screws here, and then I think we're good to go. I should be able.
Are you gonna drift this?
Yeah.
So can I drift your chaser then?
No. Wait, where's the module? Yeah. Bro, I don't have it. I swear to God, I don't have it. So I'm pretty confused right here. This is the airbag module, and there's supposed to be a module here and another like harness and wire that comes in and plugs in there. This little black module here for the VDC. It's not here. There's nothing at all. And then I checked in the fuse box, there's no actual fuse for the VDC, it's blank. So does my model of 350Z with the HR engine not have VDC? I'm super confused right now, but traction control is still like on. It is definitely still on and messing with me. So I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm really confused. I might go and maybe message the Z plug later and find out what's going on, but look at how this handbrake works, guys. That's a pretty cool system. Normally, like the adjuster is looking over here, but yeah, that's pretty interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna put everything back together because I don't have that module at all here. There's just 2 bolts screwed in where it should be. So I'm just assuming that this particular model doesn't have that. I mean, there's no fuse for it, so I guess that makes sense. I now have traction control properly disabled. I let's just say I MacGyvered something with the fuse, and we'll leave it at that. Not something I would recommend, but I've got it working. Now let's see how it drives, if it's any better, and then we'll really know what a stock Z is like. So, I mean, technically, I guess this would be considered doing a mod, but I don't really think so. I think like we could easily just call this, you know, disabling traction control properly the way it should have been from the factory. So you want to see two lights here. You want to see the TCS off, and you want to see the slip light off on both sides. You're also going to have an ABS light on, and you're going to have the warning light on for the brake, because it just can't communicate at all with any of the brake module systems, right? It generally also means that your brake lights, I think, don't work on this either, which is kind of weird. But we'll see how it is. We should have power all through the range now, and we shouldn't have any problems. We're about to head out, but I'm excited to see if this is going to be any different. Oh, way different. The diff is really the problem, I think, now. Yeah, wow. It's super uncontrollable. So obviously stock diff, it may be open. I don't know if it's got a viscous in it or what. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's driftable. It's definitely probably one of the worst cars I've ever drifted in this form, in stock form, that's for sure. First gear, it's easier with the diff. It's a lot better now with traction control properly disabled. I can modulate the throttle and everything. The angle's not too bad. I'm definitely going from loft to loft though. Okay, it's driftable. Worst car I've ever drifted in its stock form though. It does not feel good. Needs a diff really bad. The moment you put it into second gear, it just wants the one wheel peel. But first gear wasn't so bad. So I'd say stock form, I'm gonna rate this like a 2.5. Definitely only like a 2.5. This thing needs a lot for it to drive and drive well. It's pretty bad. So is the Z driftable? Yes. Should you drift it stock? No. They definitely need a fair bit of stuff done to them for them to feel good and react good. Definitely this thing needs a diff. There was just one wheel peeling the moment I'd give it any kind of torque, so in second gear. First gear it was okay, but yeah, definitely needs a lot of stuff. So we're gonna put the fuse back in and everything. This should be good now. But I'm definitely not drifting this anymore today. That's for sure. I'm done. Like, we got to do a lot of stuff to this before I'm happy with it. The whole handbrake on the other side of the console. Does everyone in America have the e-brake on the other side? Because like obviously this is right-hand drive, and for me, like the handbrake's all the way over here. Now, I'm curious, the left-hand drive cars, if the steering wheel's here, does the handbrake stay here? If that's the case, then that's awesome. If not, then I guess, do they put it over there for you guys? I'm curious, let me know in the comment section. But Yeah, the whole like leaning your arm over is terrible. I have to say, I am a little disappointed at the Z in its current form. Like just how it handles, how it feels. Don't get me wrong, like it drives smooth and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. And I'm sure for like grip stuff, like this would probably be really, really good. But for drifting, where you need that loss of traction and stuff like that, obviously Nissan wasn't really, I don't think, making the car for that whatsoever, which is pretty obvious. I think we all know that. But yeah, in its stock form, just with all the new car technology stuff that is in the Z, even though it is a fairly old car now, it's very undriftable. In fact, it seems like there's also something you need to snip, like a wire going to the ECU, that will give you a lot more power in the mid-range and stuff that is still being restricted to you. So I'm gonna be doing a bunch of research, and I'll be doing a video on that when we start modifying the Z for drifting and stuff like that. This thing, my goal is to just make it a really good, fun, simple seat time car that anyone can jump in. Any friends visiting from overseas who wanna drive or anything like that can just jump in this and shred with me. So, and vice versa, you know what I mean? Like if I wanna use this to shred because my other cars are down, no problems there. As well as teaching May, all that kind of stuff, it's perfect for that. So obviously we'll be doing more content later on when we go to transform this thing into that simple, really reliable seat time car that is just gonna feel good all around and just shred. But yeah, in its stock form, I do not recommend trying to drift it. Like I said, there are a lot of videos online of people trying to drift a Z around a corner and smacking into a curb because they have what they think is traction control turned off, but it doesn't really fully disable. It's only like 60% or something. So do a bit of research on that if you do want to slide them, but in its stock form, it's bad. Like stock suspension, stock diff. The diff is the worst part about it. If you put any kind of like anything like in second gear and above, it just only spins one wheel. So I think there's probably a viscous in this. It's probably a bit worn out, but in first gear it was kind of okay. As long as there was no torque going to the rear end, it was kind of all right. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's informative, and use this as a control. So remember how the car drove like today, and remember that when we do all those mods and we go through the process and how the car's gonna drive at the end of it coming out. So I hope you guys are excited for Z content. I sure am. Smash that like button, write a comment, and subscribe. I'm here at Ebisu for the next few days, so expect some awesome Ebisu content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Jamata.